So I'm back working on the Mazda B2200 pickup here today, and we're going to be installing airbag suspension. Now, I might be the only person on YouTube that's actually installing airbags on a little pickup like this, and I am not slamming it down to the ground. I want this pickup to be as practical as possible, which is why I'm building the folding dovetail bed for it, and doing all these other different projects like the bigger engine and the axle swap and all this other stuff. I want to make this pickup as useful and as practical as I possibly can. So that's going to mean installing airbags so I can adjust the pressure for a smoother ride, or I can add more air pressure and haul heavier loads. So today I'm going to be installing these airbags along with this air tank here behind me. Later on in time I'm going to put on onboard air, but I'm going to wait and do that here once I get all this stuff here set up first. Now before I go any further, this video is being sponsored by Dreo. Now Dreo is a company that sells a lot of great products, and they seem really good quality at a decent price. Now this next part here is going to totally blow you away, but I actually have my two biggest fans with me here today.
Several bad puns later.
So I want to give a really big thanks to Dreo to sending these to me. I'll talk more about the tower fans here later. For right now, we're going to go ahead and see what we need to do to install these airbags. So I have my little Mazda pickup halfway in the shop or halfway out of the shop, depending on how you want to look at it. And I got everything laid out right here in the back of it. As you can see, I already got the bed removed off of it. You could probably do this without removing the bed, but to be honest, for me, it's just easier to get it pulled off. It's just 6 volts, and it just comes right off. And it also just makes it way easier for me to film doing this without the bed being on it. So I got my airbags laid out here, as you can see, and the brackets that are on them, I bought those off eBay, along with airbags, and the airbags are the cheapest possible ones I could find. And they said that for a Chevy Silverado or something of the same size, so they should work out just fine for this little pickup. And now I cut up these pieces of steel right here, this channel, and I'm going to use these as spacers to mount to the frame so I can have my airbags properly spaced. You can look at on the directions of your airbags on how far they reach, and you want to get the correct ones for your vehicle to make sure that they have enough travel. Now, as you already saw here a bit ago, this is my air tank I'm going to be using, and it's going to weld right up here on that same brace it's sitting on. I'm going to just weld it right along there lengthwise, and I believe that's going to work out really well. For using the air tank, this here is actually just an old air bubble that I'm using. Should work out just fine. You can use any size of air tank you want. This one here just happens to be one I have in hand. And here I have all of my lines and my pressure regulator. So from there I should be able to adjust my pressure to how hard or soft I want the suspension. Now I'm using hydraulic line. I happen to have a whole bunch of different sizes. It's still new. So I figured hydraulic line is really going to last me well on something like this. I've always had the fear of using the air lines, of it getting a leak over time and not wanting to hold up. So I believe these hydraulic hoses should work out just fine. So the pickup's at its full height right now. It has no load, doesn't even have a bed on it, so it's going to be standing the tallest right now. So I'm going to go ahead and weld in these airbags on how it sits right now. That should give me my proper height when I get finished here. airbag completely installed and welded really easy. It really took no time at all. Got it welded to the axle. As you saw, welded to my extension first, so that made it really easy to just set on place, weld all on. Now the passenger side is going to be a lot harder to do, just because I have this conglomeration right here, which I believe is my anti-lock brakes. However, they're not hooked up because all the wiring has been cut off for some who knows reason. So I'm going to have to walk around all this, which is going to make it a little bit tighter quarters. I am probably not going to film on this side because it's the exact same steps I just took on this driver's side. But I will go ahead and show you on the modifications I had to make for this passenger side. As you can see, I had to cut a notch out of the spacer to fit around that anti-lock brake system. And also I had to cut a notch out of this plate here. And then I had to cut the corner off of the axle mount right there. And that's so it could go around the, I don't know if you can see this, right there you have a bracket for your brake line. And so I had to cut off this corner here to go around that bracket. So the passenger side is definitely a lot tighter. Depending on what vehicle you're doing this to, you may not run into these issues. So it really just goes from vehicle to vehicle.
12 seconds later.
So now I have both airbags here mounted into the pickup. This one here, I had a hard time getting mounted because, like I said, that anti-lock brake system's come in the way. And you probably notice the airbag is mounted lightly to the side on the bottom plate, and it's on the way could about get on there. So it's going to have to work. I'm not really too worried about it. So now we have both airbags mounted. Now it's time to get the air tank welded into place. I have it held up with the floor jack right now, so I just need to get it buzzed on. I talked about using some strapping and bending and using like straps to hold the tank on, but I don't have any strapping to use right now, and I don't really foresee myself be moving the tank here anytime soon. So it'll be pretty easy just to weld it on and just leave it the way it is. So now that the air tank is welded into place, I'm down to the last and final thing of getting all of my lines plumbed up to this whole system. Now I have these 2 half-inch lines here. Now those go to each of the airbags. The small line here will go into my regulator here, so I can control the pressure of the airbags. And then from the regulator, this line here that comes out to here, that will be going to my air tank. And I have a valve stem installed here on the side of the air regulator, so I can air up the system. Like I said, later on I'm going to be going to onboard air, but for right now I'm just going to have to air it up from this valve stem. So I'm going to go ahead and untangle my hoses and start getting them all hooked up.
Eventually.
Well, I have the whole system plumbed up here. I was going to film getting all the lines hooked up, but I realized that the video was mainly just going to be me Teflon taping the valves and fittings. So I went ahead and skipped filming, and I'm about to show on once everything's completely hooked up. As you can see, you got the line coming down the bottom of the air tank. And that's this line here. It comes right around into this air regulator, and I have my valve stem right here to air the whole system up, and I can change my air pressure right here, and it comes out of my air regulator around and into the top of the first airbag, and from there it just splits off and goes over to the second airbag. It's really pretty simple, really straightforward, easy to get plumbed up. I guess now I just need to get the whole system aired up, see if it explodes on me. But before that, we're going to take a look at the sponsor. So Dreo was so kind to send me these tower fans to test out, and I've been running them here in the shop for about, I'm guessing about 3 weeks. And they've been running every day, all day, ever since I got them. Now, I've never used the tower fans until I received these. And they're so much nicer than your pedestal fan or your box fans. They take up half or a quarter amount of space. And I think they move way more air, and they're way quieter. And I've had your round style fans like this, but they're always so loud. And I have to turn the fans off whenever I turn the camera on to film. Otherwise, you hear nothing but fans. I have both these fans here running, and you probably hear a little bit of noise, but it's nothing compared to what the other fans are. And I still have to turn off the air conditioner that's right back up there, because it's really noisy. But yeah, these fans don't bother me at all when I record. Both fans came with remote controls, which I find really handy. I have sitting over here next to the workbench, and I can just turn the fans off and on from sitting over there. Never have to get up, go to the fans. And I can, if I move from one spot to the other, I can click the oscillation, rotate the fan to where I'm working, stop the oscillation, and then the fan's still pointing at me without actually having to go over and move the fan. I know it sounds lazy, but it's really nice to have. These fans also have an app that goes on your phone, which is also really handy. And from the app, it even tells the air temperature, and you can do more in-depth with the settings and stuff on the fans, and use the timers and other things like that. And this fan right here, I really like it because you can change the degree of the oscillation from 30 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees to 120 degree. And right now it's set on 30 degree, where this fan here is set on 120. And I really like just having the light movement side to side. I can just set in the corner and it works really well. A lot of times what I found out with fans is they oscillate too far, and with this here, you can actually control the oscillation on it. And I'm someone who knows somewhat what they're talking about when it comes to fans, because I have lived my whole life without air conditioning, and a good fan really means a lot to me, and so far I'm really impressed with these. So be sure you go check out all the links right down here in the description. I'll even toss a link in the comments to make sure you can find it. And be sure you go check out Dreo. They make all kinds of products, not just fans. I demoed an air purifier in a previous video. I made a minion. Make sure you go check that out. Video's up here top corner. And so far, I've been really happy with the products. So now I'm going to go back to airbags and pickup and get the whole system aired up. So I'm going to make sure my air is turned completely off. So it's not going to go to the airbags yet. I first want to add the tank, and then from there I'll slowly turn up the air to the airbags. Now my air compressor has a bad pressure switch in it, so it does not like to turn off, which I need to get that fixed here really soon, because I don't like to run it long, because I do not know what pressure it's at, because it does not even have a gauge. So I had the fear of my air compressor exploding. So I'm going to let this run here for a while, and it should take a little while to fill up the air tank on the compressor and on the pickup. So I'll cut back in here once it's all aired up. So I have the system aired up to just about 100 pounds. So I guess I'll open up the regulator and add the airbags. So I believe I'm finished up with the airbags in the Mazda. I am going to install some gusseting on the frame of the pickup down to the top of the airbags to make sure they're well supported. Ideally would be mounting these airbags directly underneath the frame. However, on this vehicle here, I was not able to do that. At least not without some more modification, which I just didn't want to do. So if you do mount on the side like this, make sure they're well supported and welded really well so they don't come loose on you and cause damage or injury. I want to give a huge thanks to Dreo for sending me these fans and sponsoring the video. So be sure to go check out the links all down below. And if you have any questions on the airbags, be sure to comment down below. I'll answer as best I can. Until then, I guess it's going to end the video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, leave comments down below, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.